Kevin, wish you the best. I'll be keeping an eye on your stream.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
and you know, pop back in.
I will. Once I get off this call, if you're still live, I'll definitely jump back in.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely be live. Great.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks. Okay, here is the link for the YouTube. There's going to be a delay, you know, between this video and YouTube will be a little bit delayed, but let's put that on. Here is the, I'll put it on Telegram.
What is that?
Okay, so the link is for live stream on YouTube, and I want to get this link for Terry. Okay, 5 minutes before we officially start, but we are live on YouTube now. Now, how come?
I used to have a rat.
How come I'm just seeing only me on?
No, an actual pet rat. No, the pet. And then two mouse. White fur, brown ears, tiny clever little wings. He used to climb up my arm and hide in my hair.
I muted you, BGRP, because there was background sound. So unmute if you want to say something. Okay, now how come it's just me on the YouTube stream? Let me share my screen and see what that does. Actually, let me make sure I share specifically. Okay. Okay, there's a pretty big delay with the YouTube. But I'm also not understanding why it's just the big video of me when we've got the group. Adam, can you share your video for just a minute and let's see if it shows up on the YouTube when we have two or more videos going. Oh, Adam had to leave. Herson, can you do video for a second? Wow, there's a delay of several seconds. I'm going to wave my paper as a timestamp. That's weird. Okay. Well, I will copy the link address and post it on Twitter. Streaming live. The hard thing is that I am a minute behind on the, between YouTube. Well, YouTube's a minute behind real life. So that's pretty crazy. All right. Well, it's official. It is 1900 Berlin time, 10 a.m. where I am. Welcome to the IOTA Bulls party, everybody. And thank you for joining. The Telegram group really took off. I can't believe it. 800 members. So that's way more than I anticipated. This was all just a spur of the moment idea to create this group. So yeah, here we are. I'm going to, how can we pin let's pin the YouTube link. And or try to get that on there. So I'd love to start with just checking in. Hopefully people check in from around the world. So if you are on the YouTube, people are checking in on the chat there, so that's good. Oh, 1800, okay, 1800 hours, whatever. 1800 hours Berlin, 10 o'clock my time, 1 hour until we start buying. So that'll be awesome. Okay, so let's do a check-in around the world. I'm in US Mountain Time. Greg's in Seattle, very good. Who can talk with me? Weetos? Is that like Cheetos, but Weetos? Herson, Adam had to jump on a call. Don't leave me alone, guys. Let me post the Zoom link for others as well. Let me get to that again.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey,
It's
who's this?
Harrison. It's
Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah,
Excellent.
I can only join you with a voice, not on the video, unfortunately.
That's okay. You can join in the video. Let me put in the YouTube chat. So, yeah, I don't know why I'm the only one showing up on YouTube, and I don't know if somebody else starts their video, if it will adjust the screen. Let me try. Oh, maybe it's on gallery.
Yeah, there are a few people joining in now.
Okay, excellent. So where are you, Herson?
I'm based in Melbourne, Australia. It's
Nice.
around 2 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock in the morning now here.
Oh, wow, that's dedication. Good on you. Good on you. Wow, 2 a.m.
Wo man wirklich so den Verein verlassen und hat das auch schon von den Verantwortlichen mit.
So who else is checking in? Greg?
Yeah, you just got me in here. Greg in Seattle.
Nice. In Seattle.
So, what's the game plan?
Well, I wish there was more of a game plan for this next hour.
Okay.
I-
No worries, man. We're just winging it. It's fun.
Yeah, we definitely are winging it. So, um, checking in, getting to know each other, hearing some stories. Hopefully we'll get some guest appearances, some big names here in the next hour, and then just preparing, in an hour for the buying. In talking with Carl, initially he was thinking, let's start out with 10%. In talking with him a little more, we were thinking, let's start out with 20%. We were looking at the sell orders, and we want to try to make an impact right away. And so if people, if you're just going to be buying a small amount today, like $100, then you can probably just put it up right at the start. But if you're doing a larger amount, 20% to start with, we see what kind of an impact we made.
Okay, do me a favor,
Yeah.
because I got on Telegram, but I've been really busy, so I haven't. Maybe just explain in an hour 10% of what, I mean, what's the whole process? Because I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of people that are jumping into this going, okay, 10, 20%.
Right.
What's the game? What's going on there? Do we all pitch into a fund? I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So just setting it up front. This isn't a pump and dump. We're just here to have a party and
Sure.
kind of collectively buy and see if our collective buying has an impact. So everybody will be buying on their own on different exchanges. Most people are on Binance in the
Right.
US. I'm on Binance US. Most people in Europe are on Binance, but wherever people can buy is fine. So when we talk about percentages, we're talking about percent of your own personal buy order. So if you're going to be buying $1,000 today, then do $200 as the first order. So
Okay. All
we're
right.
going to start with
Understand.
a
So
20%.
whatever you think you're going to spend today, you're
Mhm.
saying, okay, let's put the first initiative is the first assault that we're going to make on this is 20%.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Got it. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's important to just let people know what the game plan is there. And we may need to reiterate this because there's going to be a lot of people just jumping in, trying to figure out, hey, this is new. What are we
Mhm.
doing? I haven't, a lot of times we just jump in because it's supportive of IOTA and they're not going to know.
Right.
So,
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, the overall game plan is we will, in the first 10 minutes of the next hour, each person will spend 20% of what they plan on spending today.
okay.
Yeah. Now,
And how long are we going to, and this duration of this experiment is how long?
1 hour.
1 hour exact. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 1 hour.
It'll
So
be fun to see what happens.
yeah, it will be. And I think we'll just kind of see with
Yeah, we gotta live and
20%
learn.
what happens, and then we'll decide. The overall plan is kind of tentatively put in 3 buy orders: 20% of what you're spending, 30% of what you're spending, and then 50%.
Oh,
So
what you're a teacher. We need a graphic.
yeah, there we go.
No, you got your whiteboard, right?
Yeah, I do have a whiteboard.
That actually, I'm not trying to you're pretty good at spontaneous. I mean, this is just say first hour, just write out what we're going to do, because I mean, that makes sense to me.
That's a good idea. Let me pull up my whiteboard and
Cool.
let's see if it works. My technology doesn't always work for my whiteboard.
No, I see it here, so we're good.
Okay, let's see if we can write. So, my pen is not
Pen's not working.
working. What is wrong with my stylus?
Bluetooth.
Something's weird. I can write with my mouse.
Oh, that's torture.
Yeah. 20%.
Can you type?
I might be able to type. Let's see. Yeah, that's my mouse writing. Yeah, I can type.
There you go.
Yeah. First assault will be 20% of what you plan on spending today.
Ah, vodka.
Hey, who's there? Okay. Well, I'm going to stop the whiteboard for now.
Okay.
But yeah, I do have a graphic. I do have a graphic or a visual aid. This vertebrae,
Awesome.
this
Awesome.
vertebrae
It's
comes
awesome.
this comes from a whale. Okay, so the graphic, I've got this today because we're not whales, but between 800 of us, maybe we can make a whale. You know,
Well, we're like the fish in the ocean that try to mimic that swim together in schools to mimic a larger larger fish, right? To sway predators away from them, right? To sway
exactly,
predators.
exactly. So we're not big, but collectively, maybe we can make
Sure.
something big, and who knows? You know, it's possible that we won't have any impact on the price today, but
Oh yeah.
it's good publicity. It's good to get the community together. Good to have.
A lot of times, you know, the first one may just get the word out, and then the second one will get us more of an effort because people understand what the game plan is. So you never know. Right?
Yeah. This doesn't have to be a one-time event. Let me check in with the YouTube stream. What have we got? Munich, Germany. Hire stripper. She can take clothes off the higher the price goes. I can eat chocolate, you know, as the price goes higher. I can Germany. Yeah, Ola, Finland reporting in. All right, where's Turkey? Where's Korea? I know they're on the Telegram group. And it's hard to keep track of all the different places. And yeah, so we got Telegram, we got YouTube. Good deal. All right. Well, we'll see if anybody joins. And then we've got Twitter going on as well, right?
Yeah, you need multiple people to help you monitor this.
Yes. Yes, different things could be happening at different places, different times. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got people retweeting the live stream. I feel like I should have music going on in the background or something to, I don't know how to throw a party. So
You're doing fine.
all right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me because we need that. And I also sent an email to some students to see if anybody would like to join who doesn't have any idea what IOTA is. I don't know if I'll get any takers. Students are hardly waking up, but let me text one person who might join me. Well, no, I'm not going to try. That's just one other form of communication I'm going to have to try to keep track of.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, Greg, how did you get into IOTA?
Oh, I've been since 2017 when I first, started like everybody else. Started with BTC, on-ramp was Coinbase. Quickly learned that was an expensive route to go. Then just dove into it because I've been in technology all my life. So then really loved the approach of IOTA. At the time, it all kind of made sense to me. We've been through a lot since then, a lot of changes. Technology has been upgraded, made some hard decisions, but yeah, I'm all about it. I'm loving the direction. I love what we're doing with DID. I love what we're doing with access, smart contracts, everything that's about to come into being. But really the strongest thing is Chrysalis made us finally something that companies can start building on, and Quartzsite is just gonna be icing on the cake. And
Yeah.
really the nice thing is people can build now, and we just need to show them what can be built, that it is durable, and that we're not constantly changing the
base
underpinnings
layer.
of the technology, right?
Yeah.
That allows people to build. So
Yeah, and not being a developer myself or programmer, that's it's been a little bit hard. It's like, oh, how can I help the project? And
you've been doing a great job. I mean, I'm not a developer. I mean, if I told people that I code, they'd look at my code and laugh. But but I've also I've been a startup guy. I've been involved with several. So I understand where we need to be, where we're going. And we need people like you to do what you're doing. And right now, I just sent out last couple of days. I just sent out kind of some missives out to Twitterland, that's saying, "Hey, look, I'm trying to help build IOTA competency from a developer's perspective in the U.S. So I'm trying to build a list of developers so that we can start mounting some, well, not mounting, basically going after some projects here in the US where we already have developers, project managers, and so forth that are already spun up and understand IOTA, and trying to get a list of all the skill sets of everybody ahead of time so that if I go engage projects, I'm also working on some startup ideas that we basically have a bench of people that can actually help us get into it and start building kind of a U.S. presence, because
we
don't
do
have
need
one.
that.
Really.
We do need that. Yep. Yeah, we don't have much activity in the U.S. We don't have much awareness of IOTA. If we look at Google Trends, and we have a look at the search term IOTA, we see something like this, where this big peak was because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
So in the US, if we add worldwide, and then we look at the past 5 years, then here's all the search excitement as IOTA was skyrocketing and up in the,
Oh yeah.
but that was just because the price was going up and everybody's like, what is this? So, and the interest was not sustained. The past 90 days, just kind of all over the place there. Austria, Germany lead the way, and Spain, Turkey, Croatia, Netherlands, Australia. We have to keep going down and down. Number 20, United States. So,
well, the good side is it's all upside from here, right?
right.
And if you look at it from an IOTA perspective, and also from an investor's perspective, and also just from a dev's perspective, we've only got 20% there. Our penetration in the US is low, so the upside for for IOTA is so much higher, and there's so much room to grow. And we're just at the point where we can start doing that. Before we had fits and starts based upon our changing landscape, right?
Mhm.
But we've grown up. We actually have legitimate project planning processes in place. You know,
Mhm.
all of the things that we do on GitHub and basically the communication through IOTA is all at a place now where we have a predictable environment. You know, people can complain that things take longer than they want, but truly, if you've ever been in software development around it, especially when you're inventing something new, creating something new that's never been done before, you can only kind of give timelines, but you're not gonna. It's very difficult to hit those because you don't know if you're going to have to hit an area where you need to do more R&D, right?
Mhm.
And all of a sudden that just causes a big delay in a project. But hey, when you're inventing, that's what happens.
Right, right. So we have some new people that have joined, Carlos and E and XBDF or XBF and so forth. You guys want to chime in? Carlos, Mario, where are you joining from?
Yeah, come on, guys. I'm talking because you guys aren't.
I'm back, guys. But I won't follow up what you were saying, Craig. But I'll let the other people introduce themselves first, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm from Switzerland, and but I'm just follow IOTA for the last 4 years. So just from a interesting standpoint, not from a developer or something else. Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice. Switzerland, German or French?
German, yes.
Okay.
Between Zurich and Zug. Yes.
All right.
Greg, I think it's interesting also what you were mentioning, about IOTA in North America. I mean, I feel like there was a lot of bad branding. The brand was really damaged back in 2017, 2018. And there was a lot of things that were questionable about the project. But now we are so well aligned. And I feel like we are at the time that there are no more questions about the projects. There are no more questionable things, how certain things will be implemented. That really is changing the landscape, especially from a development point of view. There aren't any unexpected variables anymore. I feel that way. So I think that should really change things. Although the problem we have is that people don't even want to look at IOTA because of 2017, 2018, I think. And that will take a while for people to really get pushed over and start looking at it. So like for me, it's interesting to know what that would be. Would that be, but getting more partners on board, or what else it could be?
Yeah.
That people will finally start actually looking into the project, because you can see people are kind of aware of it. They know there is this IOTA, but they kind of keep thinking the IOTA is the same. And they don't look into the detail. They don't look at what we're doing with Nectar or what Go Shimmer is all about. They don't look into that, right?
Right. Yeah. Most people don't even know how different IOTA is from all the other cryptocurrencies out there, really.
Yeah.
And so, if somebody comes into cryptocurrency and they look, they've just got this giant list. How do they choose? Which one has the best memes? That's kind of the extent of most people's analysis. And yeah, so they need to.
Yeah, I completely agree with that assessment. We did a good job of offending a lot of people. Right? I mean, you can't. You can't walk away from that and say pretend it didn't happen. We just got to address it and say, look, and we have been, right? Dom's been doing that. We made enemies. The way we'll get our way out of it is proving it with our technology. Just like everybody right now, there's two laments out there in the world against IOTA, and that is products not finished. We are still having some issues, with migrations at the biggest exchanges and stuff like that. Yeah. We're almost there. I would say that once we are here with Nectar and everything is working as predicted, and that'll take a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks for everybody to start getting a sense of comfort that, hey, you know, simulation actually proves out, it works, it's strong, and the migrations will be done at that point. And then we're ready to go. So, you know, since this is kind of tied to a buying experiment as well, there's no better time to get in than right now. I have full confidence that we know that this stuff is going to work. You just look at GitHub and you start looking at how the developers are speaking and the confidence that they have. We're just fine tuning now. We've got a high level body of work that we have to do, but it's understood what needs to be built, what needs to be, you know, what the timeline possibly can be, and the guys know what action items have to happen. So it's just a matter of time. This summer is going to be the world will start realizing, well, this quarter side thing is going to happen. Whether or not it happens, you know, in the next 2 quarters, I don't know. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me because it's immaterial to the project as far as I'm concerned. Quarter side will be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and this is the funny thing about the market, right? It's like if you actually go to GitHub and look at the Goshimer, you can see exactly where they are. You can,
right,
and you can see the progress, right? And it's like, oh, it's so obvious, right? And then, but you can see no one really looks at that, right? People just listening to other people talking about the projects, and then they follow them, and it's very much driven by influencers, but not by the fundamentals. That's why I really think that IOTA is going to will have a big bang where those fundamentals will start, you know, popping out, and people will actually realize, oh shit, I'm missing out on this opportunity, right? And that's when, so I think with IOTA, it's probably going to be a gradual, but also sort of like a big explosion where people really realize, oh shit, I was really ignoring it, and that was stupid.
Also, I think a huge driver is going to be the day that we start showing the first time we ever do a demonstration and actually do a follow-on graphical illustration of EVM, of sending Ethereum across the Tangle.
Yeah.
And then doing that in parallel with smart contracts. The day that we can start showcasing that, even early days, nobody else is able to do that in parallel, right? So you take our feeless structure and show the quick delivery of Ethereum from point A to point B across the Tangle in parallel with 0 fees. It will be undeniable to anybody else. And all you have to do is start then saying, hey, look, let's look at your project on Ethereum and what it costs to implement it, what it costs your end user community to actually get it up and running and so forth, and what it costs in transaction fees. And then let's do that against, you know, IOTA, and money talks. And then, of course, you throw in the energy thing too, right? So.
Yeah, but you know, I think at the end of the day, for me, and when I got into IOTA, was always the feeless transactions, and I think that's fundamentally the killing feature. I mean, any business that's going to decide to adopt smart contracts or implement smart contracts, they're gonna look at the cost. That's the first thing, right?
Right.
And even if it's a fraction of cost, once you start looking at really high volume, that can easily be a significant amount of money they will have to pay. And then look at IOTA, where they can have feeless transaction, or they can have committees where those transaction costs can be quite controlled. It's really an obvious choice. And I just don't understand how come in the market there is no more discussion about that. There's no more discussion about transaction costs, and people don't see it as a problem. Where clearly it's killing adoption for a lot of DeFi's, right? I just don't get it. Well, it's crazy.
To me, there's 2 forces that work there. Yeah. The first one is there's a world of competitors out there that have fees, and their entire business model is blown up by IOTA, right? So they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that we don't get traction. Yeah. That's plain and simple. The other thing that's interesting is if you know anything about credit card processing, so with Visa, American Express, and MasterCard being the biggest three, there have been and continue to be lawsuits about transaction fees. There have been cases solved in the past because one charged more or less than another one for fees, and they're talking 3 or 4%, right?
Yeah.
Big companies around the world actually are always fighting the battle of the transaction fee, and they're 3 or 4%, and they'll play card makers off each other to get a better contractual agreement for transaction fees, right?
Yeah.
So that alone tells me that the day that we make this predictable, like running a toaster, where you just don't have to have to worry about the underpinnings and them just being finished steady and not having to be modified all the time. Once that's there, the marketplace will demand lower cost and feeless. It will happen because capitalism is all about greed, and greed looks for margin. If there's margin, it always tries to remove, extract it out of it, get rid of the middleman. That's what fees are, right? So it is going to happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think what I really love about the concept of ICPC and I mean the smart contract on IOTA is that you got the layer one that's feeless. You got the smart contracts that, you know, you might have committees that would run it for free, you know,
Sure,
get some other benefits. You might have committees that will be charging you a fee, but it's going to create a great marketplace where these committees will be competing for the lowest fees between each other, implementing the best, most efficient hardware to run smart contracts, right? And so that whole competitive marketplace, it's a revolutionary thing, right? If you look at a lot of other, let's just stay on DLT. There is no competition that drives the fees down within, let's say, each room, for example, right?
Right.
And that's just so bad, and it's not sustainable. So it's quite smart what they did. It's pretty, and I think it can really grow a lot of different opportunities. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. We're about 30 minutes from our buying party. So this is a reminder that we can collectively become like a large whale as a community. Greg mentioned earlier, this is a great time to get into IOTA, but at the same time, most of us have been in it for a long time. And so, you know, we don't provide buying pressure just by holding. And so you know, this is just an attempt to say, hey, we still believe in the project. We support the IOTA Foundation, the leadership, the developers. We want to show our support. So we're going to buy together. We got some other people on the Zoom call.
What's up?
Hey, Merkser.
Hello, Kevin. How are you? How are you guys?
Good, man.
So tell us what's up. Can you do video or not, Merkser?
I have to say that I am pseudonym, right? And I don't want to show my face.
That's fine. That's fine. We know who you are.
Yeah.
But maybe not everybody does. What's your role? How did you get into IOTA? What do you do?
Wow. How did I get into IOTA? It's well, I was thinking about all this crypto stuff, you know, and was like, how? Yeah. I was looking for some cool projects to invest in, and before I make investment, I talked to my brother, and he was like, yeah, cool, you have some nice projects. I was like showing him Cardano and all this stuff, which is promoted on YouTube, right? And he told me to take a look into IOTA, and that's what I did. First, when I made research on IOTA, all I was reading was like FAT stuff, like it's centralized and all these things you hear about IOTA, right? And when I made deeper research on this topic, I understood the fundamentals, which IOTA is providing, and no other cryptocurrency in this space is providing, right? And that's how I got into IOTA.
Okay, and you're doing more than just being a fan.
Yeah, I am contributing, actively contributing in the community with technical analysis. First of all, I have to excuse my English skills are not the best because I'm not a native English speaker. My mother language is German, so I have to excuse for my.
It's absolutely awesome. You know that
It's
you're
very good.
great.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and what was the last question? I forgot about it.
Yeah, what you're doing to contribute. You mentioned
Yeah,
technical analysis.
So yeah, before I started all this crypto stuff and reading into those crypto things, I was like not having any idea about technical analysis and so on. And that's how I got into this topic. And it's really interesting for me because it relies on psychological, market psychological facts, and also have some evidence, right, in statistics and so on. And that's why I, making these analysis, I read a lot about it and learned about a lot about it. And now making those analysis on my German channel, and on a weekly basis. So I cannot spend too much time on this because also working and having family and so on, right? So
yeah, I feel you there. So so technical analysis, I mean, it's a little bit of a crystal ball to me. It's like, well,
yeah, that's what you hear a lot in this space. And I have to say that you cannot predict the future, right? Nobody can do this. And I don't say that I have some knowledge what other people don't have, but all these things that we are talking about on my channel are like probabilities, right? So things that are probable to happen. And and technically IOTA is right now looking very, very strong. If you make have a view on this, it's really, really looking great.
Yeah, you
right
can
now.
share your screen if you want.
Yes, I have to check. How do I make it? I don't use Zoom that often.
Down at the bottom, there should be a share screen option.
Or at it's on the top of mine, so
on
the
top. Okay.
Yeah. It says share content. It's a wherever your controls are, where you have the mute and the start video, you have share content right next to it.
So I don't see it. Oh, I have it. Okay. This one.
It's coming.
Okay, you can see what I have there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did not want to make like technical analysis right now, making live analysis.
I'm seeing you. I'm seeing. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I'm making now live analysis. Cool. So let's have a look at the IOTA Bitcoin chart right here. What we see right here is the wick of accumulation pattern. I don't know if you know about that pattern. It's
so you still view Wyckoff or Wyckoff as still
Wyckoff,
in play?
Yeah. Yes, I would say that it's still on fleek because
I'm in agreement. Right, I'm in agreement with you. I'm just I saw some people saying it wasn't. I didn't understand their logic.
Yes, because it went really, really fast down to the support zone right here, right? And this is the point where people might lose faith in this pattern. But if you take a look at the monthly chart, you see that it also depends on the close, right? So
Exactly.
And the close right now is we can expect it to be like right under the resistance zone, and this is the part where lots of short positions come into IOTA, right? So you see the close under this zone, and people losing faith, and this is the psychological fact that people expect something to happen, but the different thing is the opposite is happening, right?
Yeah.
And this is the area where it shoots up really, really crazy in a fast period, in a fast, really like only 1 month or a couple of months, and it will go up like crazy. If you want to learn about this pattern, there's a good video on YouTube. I can show it to you. So you can watch it later for yourself, but I think that he's explaining it very well. I didn't know this pattern for like a long time, but I learned about it like, 1 or 2 weeks ago when I saw it on Twitter. And I think that, let me look.
Yeah, it's been there for a long time, the pattern. He just
This guy, I think he explains it very well. So if you look for making money the Wyckoff way, you can find him, and look for the evidence in what we're talking about right here.
Yeah. I think a lot of reasons why people don't know Wyckoff because it takes so long to play out, right? So people lose. I mean, it's a long duration thing. So people don't, they lose attention. They go, that's not fast enough for me. And so they look at things that are, short term. And,
correct. But
I agree with you. I also, you're talking about TA and how people say a lot of this voodoo stuff, and I believe in it. So I've been doing it for 20 years. So, but there are things that you can't predict, right? You can't predict
like
bigger
events.
cycle things, right? Events, yeah.
Yes,
Candlesticks are only human behavior, right? That's or they used to be.
Correct.
But now what we live with is an environment that,
Yes. So the individual human behavior is not that good you cannot make accuracy expectation on how it's going to be, but masses are much more, groups of people are much more predictable than individuals. And
Correct.
that's also the fact why some indicators and some patterns are really, really reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Terry has joined us.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just
looking marvelous with your shades on.
Thank you. I'm having some camera difficulties, so let me just play around with that, and I'll be with you soon. But I'm hoping that we can get up above the 78 that seems to be the current count on YouTube. But my bags are loaded. I'm ready for this, and hoping that we can create some movement.
Yes, this will be very interesting. So Terry, my show and tell today is my whale vertebrae. It's just a piece of a whale.
Yeah.
So just a reminder to everybody that we're small fish, but collectively maybe we can make a green candle here. Maybe we can push something a little bit.
And where exactly did you find that whale vertebrae?
Oh, so we lived in Yuma, Arizona for a while, which is middle of the desert, but it's just a few hours north of the Gulf of of California. And so I think it's a gray whale. Somebody else picked it up. I don't know that it's legal to just go pick up a whale vertebrae, but they picked it up in Mexico and it was just rotting out in their yard. They had several, and I commented on it. They're like, well, I don't want it anymore. So I took it. It's great for my anatomy class when we get to the vertebrae. I can always just talk about all the landmarks very easily on that. It's much nicer than a picture. It's kind of fun. All right, Merkshire, if you want to stop your screen sharing.
Yeah, sure.
Or if you want to continue, but. All right.
Perfect.
Okay. So I think that.
So
we saw whoever's talking.
50 minutes to go.
Wow, 15 minutes. All right. So the basic plan is that we all place our orders for 20% of what we plan on spending today. So that's and we can talk strategy, but this is what Carl was thinking earlier. Is we kind of looked at the cell walls, and we said, well, let's try hitting it with each person 20% of what they're planning on spending today, and we'll see if we make a dent and analyze from there. But the tentative plan is to do 20%, see if we have an effect, 30% of what you're planning on spending today, see if we have an effect, and then the other 50%. So any thoughts on that strategy?
I think it's a good strategy, but to be honest, I don't think that we will have a huge impact today. I think it's a good thing that we start this, right? That we get together, building community, and so I made the math. Like we are about 800 people in this group. I think people are about to spend between 50 to 500 US dollars in average. And so you can expect like 50 to maybe a couple of $100,000 US dollar coming into the market. And well, I made some in the past. I made like purchases in the 5 figures range, and it on Binance, I have to say, it hadn't had a lot of impact, right? So the market didn't change really much, and I thought that it would be a bigger impact, but it wasn't. And so I think that today we will not see this unserious green candle, right? This crazy green candle, but I think that it's important to like build this stuff to make it like how do I say, not only a one-time event, not only one time a year, but maybe quarterly or like this, right?
Recurring, right?
Correct. That's the word.
We'll have to evaluate. Do people want to do it in a couple months or every month or what? But
yes, and if we do it again and again, people will know about it. People will get into it, and maybe also
schedule around it, plan around it. Also, for some people, it's a budgetary issue, right? So, right.
Correct.
So, planning for the next one, you need to make like different people have different means. So some people it's no problem. Some other people say, look, I need a little bit more time before we do the next one.
Correct.
Every other
I would just add also too, it's understanding the environment where we're living in right now, as far as just what is BTC and Ethereum doing right now, right? So if all of a sudden we're having a sell-off or a mini sell-off, right, on in any of those, it also will definitely minimize the impact that will happen on our buying, as far as seeing the size of the candle grow or not. So, when we do these buys, we also need to see how what Bitcoin's, how it's behaving, right? And that we live in an environment where they dictate what our opportunity to grow the candle significantly or not.
Yeah. So, Terry, if you're available to talk a little bit more, tell us kind of your sense of where IOTA is compared to where it has been and where you think things are going.
Well, my belief in the platform is unaltered. I continue to believe in IOTA, as you know. I suspect, that, I mean, we know that the market is manipulated. We know that the current price is not a reflection of the potential of the platform. I suspect that we will not be able to influence the price, particularly today. And in fact, in anticipation of what we're doing, it looks only as if the price is falling, not even rising. So from that perspective, let's see if I can turn my camera on. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but let's see. Yeah,
It looks very good.
Nicely done. You sprouted wings.
So doing my best here. But listen, if we don't try, we'll never know. It'll be today. I'm buying, and I'm just putting this away for my kids. So my bags have been packed for a while. I have a lot of friends and family who have invested at my behest. Some of whom have come to curse me, and some of whom have thanked me. Lost some friends, made some friends. It's been interesting, but my passion for the project is unchanged. I am convinced that this is the technology of the future, that we will see it make a significant difference in our lives and in the lives of our kids over the next 5 to 10 years. And as somebody who's spent his whole life developing software, I know the challenges that the IOTA Foundation faces in the fact that things always take longer than you expect. The laws of unintended consequences kick in. It does take longer. And all of that will be irrelevant once they deliver. The waiting is agonizing, though, absolutely agonizing. And I'm constantly, getting into arguments at home because I spend so much more of my time staring at those stupid pixels. Did it go up? Did it go down? I remember looking on Twitter and seeing somebody, I can't remember who it was, post not that many weeks ago, this is the last time we'll see $2.50. And sadly, it hasn't been the last time that we saw $2 or $1.75 or $1.50.
Yeah.
The market is fickle. What can I say?
Right. If we could just grab everybody and say, "Hey, don't you know?"
But it will come. The use cases are there. The adoption is building in the background. And as Dominic always says, large corporations who are playing with this technology are doing it in the background. They're not going to tell anybody what they're doing until they have a product that's ready to ship. And when they have a product that's ready to ship, we'll all know about it. Until then, they don't need to tell the foundation that they're working with IOTA. I can tell you that I get contacted probably once a week from individuals or groups who have ideas or questions about IOTA that they want to run by me. Some of them are pipe dreams. Some of them are significant opportunities, and they may or may not be early in the game. But some of the ideas that people have run by me, I think have serious potential to disintermediate businesses that exist today, to change the way that we do things. And I remember way back in the early days of the internet when I started with all of this stuff with technology, and I used to lecture about the internet. And I remember in those early days, one of the questions I would ask at the beginning of my lectures, I would have a room full of 100 corporate marketing people. And I would ask everybody in the room to raise their hand if they actually had an email address. And in those early days, maybe 10 or 15% of people would raise their hand. And it was a two-part question. How many people here have an email address today? And then secondly, how many people anticipate that by next year they'll have an email address? Initially, it was a great question. 10, 15% would put their hands up for question one. Maybe 50% would put their hands up for the second question. And the others couldn't see any value in having an email address. They didn't see the point. Like, what was the real technical innovation here that they couldn't achieve with the fax or with something that they would send some other way? About a couple of years later, it wasn't worth asking the question anymore because everybody had an email address. And that's the chasm that Dom refers to that we are crossing right now. At the moment, we're early adopters. I watched the Stephen Wolfram 8 hours of video yesterday, and it was clear that sitting through that was something only for serious hardcore geeks. Many of the speakers kept using a phrase that made me smile. They would explain some concept and they would say, and as you can clearly see, and most of it was so obtuse that I couldn't clearly see anything. It was really just a leap of faith that what they were saying was true. But all of this technology will be built into the products and services that we take for granted. We don't need to know how the car functions in order to be able to drive it. IOTA will be a technology that underpins so much, and it will change everything. And we just have to be patient. We all want it to happen tomorrow. We'd all like to meet in Monaco. I know less than anybody else here, but it's going to happen. We just have to be patient. But of the outcome, I have no doubt. I really don't.
Excellent prognosis. Thank you. Well, we are 3 minutes away before we start this buying party officially.
So do you have an official ring the bell for the first for each round?
I have something that I could use. This is my little.
That'll work.
That'll work. That'll be my little. That's my little turtle. That's what I've got. So, all right. So we will be. Telegram's going a little crazy with the gifts and memes. Okay. So yeah, people are ready. Very nice. All right. So I have logged into Binance US on my laptop. I'm getting ready to put down 20% of what I'm buying today. So if you are concerned about fees, if you're making a really small purchase and you don't want to break your order up, then just do it as one-time purchase. But yeah, I'm excited. So I'm still waiting 2 more minutes till the official bell. Any other last thoughts from anybody before we start this buying process? What should we be looking at on to get a sense?
Well, we should be looking at the current volume before we launch this, right?
Okay. So
just gonna look at like Binance or Bitfinex or what would be my recommendation. Just looking at
composite of what the volume is to see if we get a spike. Like I said,
Okay.
that would help us, right? And obviously price.
So I've got this view. I don't know if this is what we're after, but this is Binance US for IOTA and dollars. And anyway,
Well, that will work. I mean, then we'll see. This will tell us where if you see any movement, that's for sure.
All right.
We'll see buying power versus selling power right there. You'll see if we move the walls. So.
All right. Are you about ready?
Yeah, just before we start this, Kevin, however this ends and whatever goes down, I really just want to acknowledge you for having taken this on and created the opportunity. No, seriously, you have become a hero in the community. You've taken this on. The fact that you've mobilized, 700 people to join the Telegram group. I don't know if we're going to have 700 people all buying at one time. Certainly, we can't really tell that based on the number of people watching the YouTube channel, because it's certainly not 700. But whatever happens, way to go. More power to you. You've really made a difference here, and let's just go for it. See what happens.
Here, I agree with everything you said. It's awesome.
Okay, well, let's put it out then. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, orders in.
There's the signal. I'm putting my
All
buy
in.
order. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So let's see that buy sell wall.
Oh yeah. Where'd that go?
Well, confirm your order first, right? Before you show us your screen.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not logged in on that screen.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Just want to make sure if you want to protect your
Let's see now. Where did I even go for my all right. I bought at market. Well, where did we start out? At $1, closer to $1.24?
I think that's probably about right.
Yeah.
It'll take a little bit of time.
So
what is Bitcoin doing right now? That's also important. So it's about 38,921. So as far as USD goes, so. And Ethereum, which is my other tell, really is 2774. So USD.
mm-hmm.
So if they
So
cooperate.
technically we have a hammer candle right here, and this is a good sign. So it's possibly go up in the next couple of hours. So we might have a good impact on on all
well,
this.
we did kind of buy it on the down of the day, right? So yeah.
So Mercer, do you want to share a different view?
On what exactly?
Well, do you have a different view from Bitfinex or Binance?
I'm on Binance.com, and it's similar
Okay.
view, only that I'm logged in.
Yeah. Okay. Share your details there.
I placed my order on Bitfinex, and so far I can say it's had absolutely no impact whatsoever.
Yeah.
Go, Terry.
So I guess it's like expected. We won't have a big impact today, maybe, but you could say that even a way with 1,000 miles begins with a step, right? And this might be the first step from a bigger way, from making this like quarterly or not monthly, because a lot of people won't have the possibility to spend every month money on cryptocurrency. But if we make it like a routine, I think that we can make a big change and possibly drive a price forward, and maybe also getting a higher rank on CoinMarketCap, because this is maybe the best marketing you can get in this space, right? So if you are in like top 30 or top 40, people won't even make research on your project. And if they see you are like in maybe top 10 or so, then you're on the card, and people see you, and that's the best marketing you can get. And as we all know, IOTA Foundation is limited in their actions according to marketing. So I think that organizing all this, Kevin, is very, very important and very great. Very great action that you did right here. And I think that it's depends right now on the community to spread the message. And I think it's a good initiative right here.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's, it feels like we're a fairly small community, and even 800 on Telegram surprised me that we got that many. But yeah, 800 people. I don't know how many it takes to to have a Doge effect.
I think on Wall Street Bets they have like a couple of 100,000 or millions. I think there are millions of people on the Reddit subreddit, but maybe a couple of 100,000 people spend money, and this is when you can have an impact on the market. But but if we make this a routine, we can. I think that we can have a big impact in the future, and we should keep it up.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to build it slowly. I mean, we're used to doing that, unfortunately.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, and at some point there will be a tipping point, and it may not come from us. It may be, a company that has a big announcement or something, or a real marketing company that does some marketing. Somebody needs to be making money with IOTA so that they have a reason to market it.
Yeah, I think that your big movements will come as either you get the institutional funds who take notice and decide that they're going to take a position. All you need is just one big name to suddenly discover it. We all remember when we first discovered IOTA, and that realization, that moment where you go, wow, this changes everything. There's nothing like blockchain. This is going to make blockchain irrelevant. And at the moment, I remember a couple of years ago, you never heard, except in the real margins, about Bitcoin, about blockchain. And now every news channel, every newspaper has a comment about the current price of Bitcoin. It went up, it went down. Elon is saying something. There's no sense anymore that mentioning blockchain, mentioning Bitcoin is an unusual thing in the news. It's become part of the fodder. That's going to happen with IOTA at some point. We're going to get the press. We're going to get a big user who suddenly discovers it and either promotes it or announces it, or a large corporation that actually makes an announcement. The stuff that's going on with Dell and Intel and Linux around Project Delvarium is truly remarkable. It really is.
Completely agree with you on that. People that, my background, I had an exit, was able to, which made me a Cisco employee. But people don't, the problem with the edge and what they're doing there, it's actually interesting to me that Dell and Intel have actually come up with this, because it's actually an important problem that needs to be solved And it's at a problem also that the world hasn't really identified, and should I say, Joe Average doesn't even understand why that problem is important to solve, or that the problem exists, which is, just basically trusting data coming from edge devices, and making business decisions based upon basically data that you really don't understand. Hey, is that real? Has it manipulated? Is it something that I can rely on? Imagine a world that we're based upon IoT devices, and not just IoT devices, any device where you're making decisions based to run your business or even life support, and you're doing it on something that can't be confirmed as being the real deal. So it's important.
Okay, well,
yeah,
that was fun to do the 20%. Next we're going to try 30%. We'll wait a few more minutes, but somebody on Telegram is showing a green candle. There was a green candle. Tangle
must be a very small green candle. I'm not sure it's lighting up the night.
On the 5-minute time frame.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
Well,
the candle looks bigger on your smartwatch. Yeah.
So I wonder, initially we were going to be buying over an hour. Maybe we do it over 30 minutes.
I think that's probably better if you want to have any impact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking on at the price here, and it seems to me that the most we've done is flatten the decline in the last little while, as opposed to it's hardly the next bull run.
Right. Well, and we didn't expect it to be. We didn't expect, but
yeah.
I think one thing that's important is to consider the intent of money. People just spend money for whatever, but when you pay for your electricity bill, that's different than how you feel when you pay for your taxes, and is different than how you feel when you pay for a charitable project that you believe in. And money is kind of embodied energy. It represents our time and our energy and our talents, and what we are willing to trade that for. And so today, we're putting goodwill towards the IOTA project. We're signaling to the world that, hey, we believe that this is the future. We believe that the IOTA Foundation is doing good work, and we're putting our energy into it and putting our goodwill into it. And I think that's a good thing, whether it moves the price or not. we're signaling our intent.
Virtuous signaling.
Have we?
Sorry, Kevin. Just a question here. I'm watching the live stream on YouTube, and I'm not quite sure in your Zoom how you're sharing that, but the signal that's going out isn't necessarily. I don't know. It's mostly just you. It's not flipping as other people are talking.
Okay, I've switched to gallery view just now, so we'll have to wait for a minute. I was on speaker view, which I thought was the right one, but yeah, it's weird that it's doing that.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
No, I'm seeing you on the live stream, but I don't know.
Well, maybe
it's hard
really
with a full minute of delay.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Well, we're over 100 on the YouTube channel. We got 134, so that's good.
That's good.
Have we? How about? So we've got Twitter, we've got YouTube, we've got Zoom, and we've got Telegram, right? So, as any one of those, are we running a survey or about who just said, did I participate? Yes or no?
Oh, no.
Well, we can do that post, right? It's not,
Yeah,
right, but it would be interesting just to see if we can start, if we wanted to try to make this a recurring event, we want to build upon it, learn, every time we learn and optimize. So.
Mhm. Okay. Well, let's load up for another attempt with 30%. See how that works. Yeah, let's give it a try. I'll ring the bell. Turtle says bye.
My dog's salivating.
I'll eat chocolate for your dog.
Hey, Terry,
Right.
I'm curious.
Okay.
I've been trying to keep up with your project.
Yes.
I just don't know. I don't know if I saw an update. Is it still an ongoing thing, or where are you?
It's a great question, and the answer to that is we continue to fight the good fight. So Cup Crush was entered into this 5-city Circular City Innovation Challenge, which was sponsored by Toronto, New York, Glasgow, Amsterdam, and Copenhagen. They announced a short list a few days ago, and sadly, the Cup Crush project was not on it. So they will be announcing the winners on June the 7th. I believe it was just 2 days ago that they actually had the direct pitches from those people who they had shortlisted. They're being extremely obtuse in terms of revealing stuff. So I think they got about 140 different projects that were submitted, and they didn't reveal the details of any of them. The only reason the community knew about mine was that I had the URL that pointed to our project, and so I could share that. But all of the others are private. And even after they interview the shortlist, they're going to announce a winner or potentially winners. I'm not sure how many there will be. But it's not their intent to ever reveal any information about any of the projects that were submitted as part of this competition. And winning doesn't actually get you a prize other than the chance, whatever that means, to work with the city. So at the end of the day, it's a contest where the prize may not even be worth winning because nobody's making a commitment to do anything. However, I am undeterred because those 5 cities, number one, are not the only cities in the world where they sell coffee. And I will be actually reaching out directly to the waste management people here in Toronto. Somebody else in the community has actually helped me arrange some interviews. So I recently had a one-on-one conversation with the mayor of a small US city. So that's a conversation that's ongoing, and I'm hoping to have other conversations. We just need one city to express interest in solving this problem. If you've ever looked at authors of books and how many rejection letters they had, so whether it's Harry Potter or anything else, they'll all tell you, I received over 100 rejection letters before I received the one letter that said they were going to publish, and then it became a worldwide bestseller. So I am undeterred. Everybody that hears about this, that knows about it, says that it's an incredible solution and it's one that the world needs. Getting large coffee retailers to do it voluntarily is going to be tough because it's going to increase the price of a cup of coffee, and it's going to increase their cost in the short term, even though there's a lot of great publicity. But there will come a point at which they'll have no choice but to solve this problem. And it works, even if it's not coffee cups, if it's plastic bottles.
So the upfront cost, so you're saying it's going to cost us, help me out, remember where the cost comes in for, like, say a Starbucks with a coffee. What's the...
Well, so today they buy cups made with virgin paper stock.
Right.
It's cheaper than buying a cup with recycled fiber.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right.
All right. So it costs them more, and the more recycled fiber is in the cup, the more the cup costs. So buying a cup with recycled fiber is actually taking money out of their bottom line.
How big do you think the delta is?
It's big enough that they're not willing to do it. And I have had, like, I had a conversation, you know, where we talked and presented to the head of sustainability at Tim Hortons. And they looked at the idea, but for their franchisees, anything that was going to increase their cost of doing business was a non-starter. These guys are all,
you know, what's amazing here is I understand it completely what you're going through, but this is the exact discussion of feeless versus credit cards or versus
of course
Bitcoin, right? It's exactly the same argument.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is, you know, our machines aren't going to cost the city, the municipality, anything, because I will either self-fund or raise funds for the machines. If we have the contract with the city where they impose this, the machines pay for themselves in 5 months, 100% ROI in 5 months, which is incredible. So my intent is not only to use the coffee cup as an NFT for the deposit, where the cup itself has the deposit and its history, and every cup is a unique digital twin. So the cup is an NFT, and you can gamify it where when you redeem your cup, you may win a prize because you could build in almost like a lottery system, like a gaming solution where, you know, 1 in 100 cups wins $100. But my plan is also, as soon as we have digital assets, to actually issue shares in Cup Crush so that community members can buy interest in a Cup Crush machine, or a portion, a fractional ownership in a Cup Crush machine, because buying that machine or fractional ownership guarantees you for the lifetime of the machine, which is, you know, 5 or 10 years, a return on investment, a cash flow.
Yeah, it's like buying an ATM machine in a gas station.
Exactly. And it's got a 5-month ROI. So we'll use IOTA not only to fund the crowdsourcing of the initial money so that the city doesn't have to pay anything for the machines, we'll deploy the machines. And to the extent that we fail, the city gets free money, because for every cup that is not recycled, the smart contract will send the money back to the city from the deposit 30 days after the cup was sold or the coffee was sold. So now the city gets to raise money without having to raise a new tax. We just send the money back, and the funds go back based on the zip code or the postal code of the store where the cup was sold, because we can geotag every cup based on where it's sold. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's just getting to that first step to make it happen. And it will happen. The question is when. But in the interim, I just had a conversation yesterday. People are contacting me with other ideas, and the whole IOTA ecosystem is so compelling that that really it's unstoppable. It really.
Oh yeah,
is.
I have a ton of ideas on how to maybe overcome the cost issue for you. I'll probably communicate offline then.
Cool. And I mean, we've had conversations in the past, and you've been a great source of ideas and assistance. And I'm pleased to note that in the last little while, we have seen a small, but certainly positive uptick in the price. So it's not massive, but it's better than
it's you're talking about that project. Keep talking.
Absolutely. Better than a slap in the face with a wet fish.
Terry, if you don't mind, and I'm sure you thought of this, I'm just curious, what's the reason of not using things like stickers on the cup? Why that doesn't work? Oh, because I understand you're trying to do custom cups which has an imprinted digital ID on it, or
they won't be custom cups. You can barcode or inkjet the cups simply by adding a high-speed inline inkjet printer. The cups, every single cup that's produced today has an inkjet code. Go to any Starbucks or Peet's, pick up the cup, look on the bottom. Every single one of those cups is inkjet inline on the production line. All we need them to do is to change that so they put on the bottom of the cup a barcode or a QR code or something that we can read.
Right.
And even as Greg already knows, even if they hard code a barcode on the physical cup, the variations in that physical statically printed barcode, there's sufficient variability in there that a high definition camera placed in line with no changes to the production facility whatsoever can actually identify those changes and turn them into unique IDs as well. So you don't need to change the production. You don't need to create special cups in order to do this. But and the problem with stickers is that the stickers then become, valuable in their own right. So
they don't want stickers. Stickers become an inventory problem, a management problem.
Oh, absolutely.
That's nothing they want to do with.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to your talks before, so I wasn't sure what on your solution.
Yeah. And nobody in a retail store, when you go into a Starbucks and they're busy, they don't want to introduce any additional overhead in terms of time.
No, they're reducing time, right? They're working on reducing time. So
nothing that increases the number of steps that are involved in selling a coffee. If you make it more complicated at any point, it's a non-starter. So this has to be completely seamless.
How about prepaid?
I think I only asked this question because I thought that the major blocker is changing production they would have to do, but that's based on what you said, that's definitely not an issue. So
it would be interesting to see prepaid cup crush coffee plans where that could somehow be flipped into a Starbucks or a Horton. The model perhaps of buying back in the day of buying long distance plans for phone calling, where you buy an aggregate, right, and then resell them to people as for plans. Do the same thing and apply the same logic to pre-buying Starbucks coffees. Never mind. I'll take it offline.
Greg, you got me thinking. Terry, you mentioned that there's an upfront cost that the stores aren't willing to pay.
It's no upfront cost. There's no upfront cost. It's just an ongoing higher cost. But as the cups are recycled,
right,
the deposits that result in a higher, because the consumer, one way or another, whether you're paying higher taxes for garbage disposal or for landfill, the consumer always pays. We're paying in the impacts on climate, we're paying in the garbage, we're paying in the cup of coffee. The consumer always pays. But from the retailer's perspective, if they have to charge the deposit on the cup, the price for the cup of coffee to the consumer goes up. Now, ultimately, the consumer gets a good portion of that back when they recycle the cup. And if the consumer doesn't recycle the cup, they can give the cup away. They could donate it to their kids at school who may be collecting cups to pay for a water project in Africa or a new school library or whatever it happens to be.
So if we're talking are we talking 5 cents a cup, 10 cents a cup?
25.
We're talking We're talking 25 cents,
Okay.
of which the consumer will get 10 cents back. The coffee retailer will get money back when the cup is recycled in the machine. The machine will get 5 cents. The person who empties the machine gets 5 cents, all the way down to the point that we're actually paying the pulp mill $1,000 a metric ton to buy this stuff. And I can tell you that I've had conversations with senior, like C-level executives at major pulp mills in North America who are totally on board, and all they want is for some city to take this on because they have spare capacity. There's a pulp mill in Quebec that has the ability to take from the Northeast region massive numbers of cups and recycle them, turn them back into fiber that could then be remanufactured back into new cups with high recycled fiber content. And for the first time in history, they'd be able to sell the cups with recycled fiber for less than today it costs to buy cups with virgin fiber. But today that's the other way around.
I think it's really, I mean, you're definitely up to something. I mean, I come from Australia, and in Australia, we had a huge uptake in the past few years on recyclable caps for coffee. Oh, sorry, biodegradable coffee cups.
Yes,
And I work with a company there. They have been growing massively. And even though I think it costs a little bit more to coffee businesses to implement those cups in their business, but they still had a really good, marketing. Customers love to go there because they knew those cups are sustainable. And then,
the PR is incredible. For a retailer, it's priceless.
I love the fact if I can actually go to a coffee shop and I would be able to look at Tango and see exact history, how they recycle the materials, not just the coffee cups, right? I can see a true source of information.
And
how they
remember,
recycle whatever they produce. Yeah.
Okay, guys, people are getting a little antsy.
Are we?
People are getting a little antsy on Telegram and YouTube. They want to do the last buy.
So let's buy. Let's buy. The price has picked up.
So we're all going to put in the rest of today's amount, whatever you've got left. We will ring the bell for whatever you've got left. I'm emptying my balance on today's. Oops. Boy, you got to be careful. I almost accidentally bought Bitcoin.
That would help the experiment.
Want to do that.
Well, I see a 21 instead of a 19, so that seems good. 121, I should say.
So anybody want to share their screen on something they're seeing? Let me close my door. I got a little noise. I can't say that I see a big difference from where we started, but 126 is more than 124. Maybe I just need to zoom in a little closer there.
The good thing is a lot of people now have a little bit more IOTA than they did at the beginning of the day.
There you go.
They won't regret that in the long run.
No, they won't. I've been really interested to see what'll happen once Binance comes back online, right? As far as migration, it's just what that does.
So we've got the little uptick there. Chink. That looks pretty good. Here's another. Look at that. from 1900 on up. That was a difference. I don't know.
An iota of a difference.
There you go. Well, and you know, markets are such funny things. It's like, who puts the sell pressure on? The whole community wants to buy and hold. So I don't know. You know, big hands that.
There's machines that are at work as well, right? And they play the spreads. They play, you know, there's just little ticks like this they make money on. So, like I said, Binance is not really. We basically have a lot of volume that probably isn't coming into play yet, just because of the migrations. I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
I really like, yeah, it'll be different when we can migrate our funds entirely. I really like this, you know, that we start, you know, right at 1900, you start seeing a volume increase, and well, there's just the volume here. I don't know, but you know, green. That's a nice. Yay us!
It was worth it. It was fun. It's fun to talk to people anyhow, so it's good.
Yeah, it seems to have done something. Be interesting to see if the general market has also risen.
Yeah. The general market timed itself around us. All right, there we are with the little.
We're gonna have, each of us have to get one for the next call.
Yeah, good luck.
I mean, I actually think that we're doing okay when you consider, for example, that, you know, Cardano is down 2% for the day. Lumens are down 2% for the day, like 24 hours, and we're up 5%.
Yeah, we did quite well in past 24 hours, I think. I mean, but although I think Cardano held quite well last week.
Cardano did hold up well.
I'm not a very good expert on the numbers when it comes to analyzing it, but I felt like Cardano did really well during the whole drop. Yeah.
Percentage-wise, I think they held strong. Yeah, I agree.
And I think staking has a big part in that, because people who are making money by staking their coins and generating a return are much less likely to liquidate them in a down market, because they've still got those returns and they don't want to unstake them.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I think one of the challenges for IOTA still is there is not much of it doesn't have that utility, right, within the crypto space. Hopefully that will get fixed soon.
Staking is interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you trade around it, you basically, well, depending upon where you live, your taxes are going to kill you. So you have to keep your stuff in there, or you just lose your.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like you think you're winning, you lose. You win that quick battle, you lose the war. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, what they're doing now is they go on Celsius network, right, and then they loan money against the
exactly.
And it's something I have been considering, because I'm applicable to capital gain tax as well myself. The challenge you have is when the market drops like last week, it just liquidates. And it can really easily liquidate your holdings there. And I think that.
Oh, for sure. And
risky, right?
I think you need to worry about people. A lot of this, I would say that there's a lot of availability of credit to people that are not sophisticated enough to handle it. Lending 100% is ridiculous, and so what happens is people just bet one way, and then when it starts, they just force a couple short sales, and all of a sudden capitulation happens because all those people just get liquidated, right? And they get erased overnight. There's a big responsibility by the exchanges, in my mind, for a lot of the creation of the downside moves. They help the upside move, but also they don't allow that anywhere. but it happens in crypto. So
yeah, I think the leverage that we see on some of the exchanges is ridiculous, and people how they leverage the price. I don't think it's ideal. It's just,
yeah, doesn't make
it creates crazy swings and just discredits the whole industry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, crypto is volatile enough. I think you don't need a leverage in the space.
Yeah,
you can do this with currency trading like USD against Euro also, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I have a saying that's like, sometimes you're giving the monkey a gun. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
well, they might be better than some people.
That's crazy.
I just want to mention, by the way, guys, I spoke with Kevin about this. I'm actually in Canada, so now I'm in North American region, and I feel like there's not much talks happening in here. So we wanted to start running a Twitter space talks, just generic IOTA talks, talk about technology, talk to new people that
cool
the space.
Where in Canada?
I'm in BC.
Okay.
But I moved here just about 4 months ago, so I'm pretty new. But yeah, I've been in Europe. In Europe you can see just there's so much activity happening, which is great. But then afternoons here on the West Coast, it's just very quiet. And I feel it would be great if there's more talks in that time zone.
Yeah. So I'm in Seattle. So I'm I'm right at 300 miles away.
So what time would you guys like to do these Twitter Spaces talk? What in your local time? What are you thinking?
Because I was initially thinking, sorry, 2 p.m., but 2 p.m. might be still quite early. 2 p.m.
Pacific.
Pacific. So I'm still getting used to these time zones here. So 2 p.m. Pacific. So we might want to do it probably a little bit later. So yeah, so I'm not sure if evenings are great. We might need to just figure it out.
How about a Twitter survey or on Discord, both, and then we could just kind of like look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me do it now.
Because I can do whatever. I can do whatever you. It would be fun to do. Whatever. But if you're trying to build the crowd, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. No. So let's say 2 p.m. Pacific. Any other time?
That works for me.
All right. Next Tuesday.
So I'll just put a survey now. Lock it in until tomorrow, and then we decide based on the survey. So I'll put 2 p.m., 4 p.m. or what are the other times that you guys?
Yeah, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m. See what people want. Yeah.
I might not be able to do 6 p.m. I got 2 kids.
All right. 2 p.m. or 4 p.m.
It's important to do the ones you can do.
Yeah, I'll do 4 p.m. and I'll tell my wife I have really
2, 3, or 4 maybe.
Or you could do 9 p.m., but it might not work very well for the East Coast, I suppose.
No.
Yeah. All right, so we've moved the needle maybe by by a penny, right? 2 pennies, as far as the price goes.
Yeah.
So, well, that's okay.
I'm just excited that the Telegram group took off and that people have a space.
Oh, that's a hell of an effort. My God, you got 700 people, 800 people in a Telegram group. How long was that? I mean, was that 2 weeks ago that you said you're going to do the group, even start that group?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
really
incredible.
Kudos to you.
Crazy.
No, I didn't do anything really.
Well, that's amazing. What's amazing is you got 800 people to join a group within 2 weeks without, a whole lot of planning and effort, right? I mean, it's amazing. That was a great initiative.
Yeah, a few other guys helped admin the group, and they made it run smoother. And so
very cool. Yeah, if we go on with that effort, I think in a couple of weeks or month, we will have a couple of thousand people in this group if it goes on like this, right?
So, what do you guys think? Should we try to also develop something going on like with what kind of happens on Reddit, or to complement this, to grow it, or what do you think?
Sure. So some
I don't know if
kind
you
of
think- yeah.
marketing campaign, or what do you? What
Yeah,
do you mean?
something. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't spend a lot of time on Reddit anymore since they changed all the rules. But
Well, and even, you know, if we could come up with a good marketing campaign, maybe people would rather put $50 towards a marketing campaign than towards more buying, you know, just,
that'd be something.
Good idea.
you know, we need to do some marketing that the IOTA Foundation cannot do. And how to market on a large scale, you know, within the US and North America, I don't know. And I don't know if that means.
Well, just like the IOTA Foundation, I think we need to pick our moments.
Mhm.
I think our moments is at least a couple, 2 or 3 weeks away until we get. You need to spend the money at the right time, and the right time is after migration's completely completed everywhere. People can get. This is my take. Can get you know, their stuff off of their hardware device, their hard wallets, and maybe a little bit closer to where we can actually show a little bit more of the latest that's going on with Go Shimmer, right? I just think that waiting a month or a month and a half is for all that's just about to be able to be demonstrated, is you'll save a lot of and get a bigger bang for the buck.
Right. So we just grow the Telegram community. We set another party date 2-3 months out, and yeah, we try to market and get people
I
excited.
don't know if I'm of the opinion that maybe 3 months is too long.
Okay.
I would say maybe every two months.
We do
Because you're
every-
talking a quarter. You're talking a quarter, right? A quarter's a long time. People lose interest. They lose focus.
We just had a full moon. We could go every other full moon.
We should chart ourselves to the moon, right?
Yeah.
See if we see if the buying was better or worse. And you know what? We'll probably find something that actually correlates. That'd be hilarious.
That would be. All
Okay,
right,
guys,
well,
I have to leave.
Yeah, I think we're
Kevin,
good.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you. An amazing effort and an amazing response, just from a community perspective. And we just need more of this. People just need to share the message. It's going to happen. It's just a question of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, Terry. I'll be hitting you up on the side with some ideas. So.
Okay, I look forward to it, Greg.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining. I'm going to head on out. I'll see
All
you.
right.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin, for all the effort.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, you
you.
bet.
Let's call it. I think we're done here.